Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I know I literally sound like death right now because I'm sick as hell. And also, this is going to be the third part of Has Anyone Heard of the Left Right game? Also, they came out with another part, so now there's going to be 6 parts to this, not 5. Also, this says that you have to be 18 years or older to read, so like, you know, you don't have to be 18, but like, say you are, you know, like I am, because like, I'm not supposed to be reading this, but you know, I'm going to because I feel like it. So basically, be ready for inappropriate stuff, okay? Yeah, this video is also going to have a lot of cussing in it, most likely, so get ready for it. So I'm just going to jump right into the video. Hello again, guys. I finally got around to posting next vlog. I would have put this up sooner, but unfortunately, I've had bikes to repair, and if I don't do it, the customers might go online and discover it's not actually that hard. I wonder if you guys have given me in finding Alice. The guy who said he'd track down the mirror shop is giving me regular updates on his progress, and I received a whole lot of help going through American Missing Persons reports. It turns out Alice's work hasn't heard from her either, and they're going through their emails for Rob's submission to the show. Everyone's been really helpful, so thank you. I've got to say, I'm sleeping worse since this whole thing began. It's strange to think that all of the time Alice was out of contact, I was perfectly content. Yet, now that she's got back in touch, every day I don't hear from her makes me that much more worried. That's assuming, of course, that it is her that sent me those emails. I really hope it was. Thanks again, everyone, and please let me know if you find anything. The Left Right game, Draft 1, 9/2/2017. Rice non-perishable? Rob. Soy sauce non-perishable? Rob. Salt non-perishable? Rob. Eggs? They're perishable, but I bought enough of them fresh and I got hard-boiled. That'll last a week. It's breakfast time, the start of our first full day on the road. Rob's been up since 7 o'clock, cooking a meal for anyone who wants it. The aroma pulls us out of our makeshift beds and arranges us around his portable stove. Our bowls are ready before we even fully realize there's a catch. The trade-off for supposedly free food, a 10-minute lecture from Rob about the power of rice. Rob. See, in the Pacific, our guys used to be terrified of the Japanese. Whole armies marching on grains. Thought they were super soldiers. See, the Jap knows all the secrets. You give people rice in the morning and they're going for the whole day. After dropping 2 large spoonfuls of his favorite staple into a bowl and handing it to me, Rob breaks a raw egg over the top. The yolk clouds over it as I stir it in. To be fair, the food is delicious, and it's fun to watch Rob at his soapbox. At least there are some things he's willing to talk at length about. I stare across to the circle to Lythe and Eve. The latter has spilled rice on her top, and her friend is teasing her playfully. Eve sees me looking over, meets my gaze, and turns back to Lythe. Her tone dramatically muted. I turn to my food, making a point to seem attentive to Rob's speech. A minute later, the 2 girls decide they finish their meals, and I quickly realize so have I. Devouring the last few bites, I place my bowl in the small tub of hot water next to the stove and casually wander over to the car. Lythe and Eve are facing away from me, silently packing up their sleeping bags. They refuse to look at me once I reach them, in a deep, conspicuous attempt to be stubble. Lythe. Is he watching? I glance over at Rob. He's still talking to Bonnie and Clyde and Apollo, asking them to guess what breakfast translates to in Japanese. A.S. I think we're fine. So did you see the car? Without answering, Eve reaches into the backseat and pulls out a MacBook, the repository for all paramoric footages. She presses play as Lythe and I huddle around her, blocking the view from any potential onlookers. The footage depicts a familiar road. Lythe and Eve must have dropped off the hitchhiker and just made the next corner. I can hear them talking about their experiences, both terrified and thrilled at the events of the day. It reminds Lythe that they need to look out for the car. Lythe swears the camera immediately starts scouring the roadside. Eve, VO. Look, there it is. Lythe, VO. I see it. Slow down, slow down. The abandoned car comes into view, with Eve slowing to a crawl, and Lythe maxing out her camera's zoom function. A precious few details can be screen and driver's side window are broken. The keys are still in the ignition, and once Eve overtakes the wreck, it's just possible to make out a dark stain soaked into the driver's seat. Like Theo. Stop the car! Just as the video, Eve starts to slow to a halt. The real light shuts the laptop. I glance between them, trying to keep my voice as low as possible. A.S. You stopped the car? Eve. I mean, yeah. Lythe. We know you told us not to, but I was like, really weird, so we went over and... A.S. You got out of the car? Eve. For the record, I was super against it. Lythe. Yeah, do you wanna... Lythe nods her head towards the back of the car. It takes me a second to realize what she's getting at. A.S. It's in the boot? Eve. It's in the what? A.S. It's in the trunk. Lythe. Yeah, obviously we couldn't just leave it there. Look, you want to rush the rest of the footage anytime, we'll even send it to you. But you need to look in this bag before we hit the road. I check on Rob once more. He washes up the bowls and culturally, exchanging small talk with Bonnie, obviously to what's transpiring a mere 5 meters away. Lythe and Eve escort me to the trunk, reforming our secretive huddle before Eve lifts it open. A brown leather duffel bag sits in front and center. It looks expensive and worn, probably a few decades old. The parents gesture for me to unzip it. Lythe. Just to preface this, I want to say this whole trip has been fucking weird. The bag isn't exactly full. I rummaged through the loose contents, finding a few sets of good quality mint shirts and a pair of jeans. Farther down, I find a small and well-used shaving kit. I'm starting to wonder what Lythe and Eve are so bent out of shape over, when my hand hits a hard edge of a straight rectangular object. Slowly and with great care, I manage to extract it from the layers of wool and denim. It's a package, a heavy square block about the length of my forearm, neatly wrapped in brown paper. It seems completely unassuming, except for the black wire hanging from the underside. Leaning back to the bag itself, lifting the wire, a black plug rises and swings it slightly in midair. Eve turned around. With both girls watching me intently, I turn the package in my hands. The wire connects to the charge port of an old Dakota 3210, which in turn is superglued to the package along with a few shards of exposed circuit. Finally, not least, are the words on the brown paper in imposing black type. C4 explosive. My mouth feels dry. A.S. I wasn't expecting that. Lythe. I know, fuck this road, right? There's tons more in this trunk too. It was insane. A.S. Is this dangerous? Eve. Not right now. It's basically inert unless you have the detonator. A.S. You're sure? Lythe. We have Wikipedia downloaded on a hard drive. It's the only reason Eve let me bring it here. She read the article like 3 times. Anyway, the Dakota is out of battery. A.S. Okay, well, I'm not even going to ask how you know that. I don't get this. Why would someone bring a plastic explosive for the left-right game? I mean, what the hell are we heading into? Eve. I have no idea. Do you know if Rob has any? Rob. If I have any what? When I look up, Rob's only a few steps away from us. I hide the C4 behind my back, dropping it to my satchel next to my notebook. I just managed to pull my fingers out of the way as Eve instinctively slams the trunk shut. A.S. Tips for sleeping in cars? These guys had a rough night. Rob. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Just something you gotta get used to, I guess. We're hitting the road in 15 to 20 minutes. That alright with you guys? Eve. Yeah, totally. Rob. Bristol, you mind helping me pack up? A.S. Not at all. Painfully aware of what's hanging at my side, I step away with Rob towards and down a dismantled stove. Looking over my shoulder, I see Lythe and Eve are watching us go, their faces with apparition. I can't say I feel the same. Despite my surroundings and the multitude of unsettling events, I don't have any space in my head for apprehension just now. All anxiety is slowly pushed out, its territory angst by bolstering sense of resolve. There are far too many strange things happening on this road, and even if it kills me, I'm going to find out what they all mean. Ace. Rob, can I talk to you? We've packed everything in the back of the Regular. We're about to get back on the road when Ace comes up behind us. Rob turns around and I see an icy shield raising up as he curtly addresses our compatriot. Rob. What is it, Ace? Ace. Can I ask you something? It's okay if you need me to go home after. The shield thaws. This isn't the Ace we've been seeing before Rob's perception enough to notice. He engages a belt cautiously. Rob, what do you want to ask? Ace shovels uncomfortably. Suddenly he seems much younger. Ace, does the hitchhiker, does anything happen if you don't try to pick him up? Rob, oh god damn it, Ace, I told you, you can't. Tell me what happened. Ace, I was making my way down the road and I was angry about how you'd been and when I saw the hitchhiker I thought I should, not do what you told me to do and just drive by. Ace starts to tremble, unable to meet Rob's eyes. Ace, a minute later I looked in the rear view and he was sitting at the back of my car. He talked about the weather. I mean, I swear I didn't pick him up. But when I think about all these memories come back, I started to remember pulling over, letting him in. It's like I did it, but I don't even... Rob, did you talk to him? Ace, no, I promise I didn't say a word. Rob stares at Ace in silence. Ace hangs his head like a penitent crime facing judgment. Rob, feels awful, don't it? Ace finally looks up, confused at Rob's words, searching the man's expression for clues. Rob, I did the same thing as you the first time. Just drove right by. I wasn't going to let some stranger in my car. Nearly jumped out of my skin when I saw him in the rear view. Rob grins at Ace, who manages to smile back shakingly. Rob, you ain't got the right gear for this, Ace. I like to run a tight ship, and I gotta say, it pisses me off. If you want to turn that Porsche of yours around, don't think any less of you. But if you want to keep on this road, how about you try to listen more, and I'll try to be less of a hard ass. Rob holds his hands out for Ace to shake it. It's an offer of peace, or at the very least, offer of terms. Ace accepts it, grimacing only slightly as he faces Rob's iron grip. Rob, about time we hit the road. 5 minutes later, we're rolling into a deep valley, which members of the convoy appearingly over the crest behind us. Everyone present and accounted for, including Ace. Ace, I have to say I'm impressed. Rob, with what? Ace, with how you handled Ace. One might presume a guy who's been divorced 4 times isn't the best at conflict resolution. Rob, divorce is conflict resolution. Ace, that's a good point. He seems to be saying the hitchhiker made him pull over. Is this really what happens? Rob, yep, he always ends up in the back seat, and you always remember picking him up. Yes, it's just, that's not scientifically possible, Rob. Get used to that. We spend the next 2 hours in silence, with me typing up my notes and Rob navigating the sparse few turns that show up every now and then. Ace's testimony troubles me, perhaps because it stretches my favorite theory, that the game is an elaborate hoax, perpetrated by Rob Guthrie. I was content that the hitchhiker could have been an incredibly defect performer. But even if the man was a RADA trained thespian, it doesn't make him capable of mind control. Ace could be insane, or maybe an actor himself, but those ideas sound exactly like the ideal rationalizations I described in Rob earlier. I'm not sure what my theory is at the moment. I keep working, hoping to type my way into a revelation. A few lonely trees have started showing up in the distance, towering wild pines with trunks as thick as barrels. Without my noticing, the trees grow slowly more numerous, and in that creeping way, that landscape changes. It is not long until they span both sides of the road, encapsulating us in a deep, bright forest. Realizing I've recorded everything of substance, and with Rob concentrating on the drive, I have no choice but to lay back in my seat and watch the world roll by. Despite the persuasive strangeness of the left-right game, there is a beauty on the road. Under the light shadow of the canopy, there is a smell of pine needles permeating the still air, and I actually feel myself starting to relax. It only takes 3 words to change that. The words don't come from Rob, as quiet as always. They aren't spoken by the rest of the convoy either. The words are writ, large, in calligraphic gold plate, resting on the spotless white sign. Even from a distance, the letters, little more than a blur, I know what they're going to say. The words I've been dreading since I switched off the radio. The words I spent a long, troubled night hoping I'd never see. Welcome to Joplin. Turns out there is room in my head for apprehension. Rob, this is ferryman to all cars. We're going to be heading through a small town. No rules here. Just keep driving and we'll be fine. Rob puts his radio back on the receiver. I try to ignore the distinct knot in my stomach. A.S. What does the name Clark Greenwald mean to you? Rob, but as much as John Doe, why? A.S. He's a radio DJ here. Rob, in Joplin? How do you know something like that? A.S. I was listening to his show last night. What do you know about this place? Rob, seems like a good town. Folks don't pay attention to ya. I just head straight through. Yes, you never seen anything on tour? Rob, some weird stuff now and again. I like to keep my eyes on the road. The forest clears abruptly like a parting curtain to reveal a picture-perfect American town. A paracle almost point of self-parody. We arrived in Joplin. There's no denying this town is beautiful. We're welcomed by a row of vibrantly colored shops spanning the length of the long and wide street, and at the end an ornate, gray-walled town hall proudly surveys its domain. The place is immaculate. I failed to find a solitary piece of litter on the sidewalk, a single smudge on the plate glass shop windows. Every inch of Joplin is pristine, tranquil, and noticeably deserted. A.S. Where is everyone? Rob. I don't know. These are usually somewhere around. Maybe there's a game on. We take the next right, then another left. The story is the same every turn. A beautiful, leafy suburban town, entirely bereft of human population. The cafes are free of bustle. The surface of the public pool is still, and we even see a school, a row of finger-painted faces smiling at us from the kindergarten windows as we pass by. The building itself is locked up, however, which is odd, seeing as it's noon on a Wednesday. Eventually, the regular pulls up on the first residential street we've encountered. The sign on the corner reads Sycamore Row. The quaint shops are replaced by luxuriant houses, all of them identical. White walls, wide porches, and fresh green lawns cut to uniform length. The road stretches in a straight line for about a mile, creating an eerie corridor of copy and pasted buildings. The strangest thing about the street, however, is vocalized by Rob. Rob, well, I guess I know where everyone is now. In front of every house, a dining room table stands on the lawn, occupied without fail by a family of 4. 1 husband, 1 wife, 1 son, and 1 daughter. They're sharing a meal together. A unit on the left clink their glasses of orange juice as they dine on pork chops and salad. The family on the right shares a large hunk of meatloaf. Broad smiles on their faces. Staring along the road, I estimate upwards of 800 people in neat subsets of 4, all dining at the same time. None of them seem to notice us. Rob, ferryman to all cars. Looks like we're coming to a town celebration. Let's not bother these good people as we pass on through. Rob lets his car roll slowly down the street, his foot light on the gas pedal, trying to make as little noise as possible. The more families we pass, the clearer it becomes that every single one of them shares a common characteristics. All of them are fantastically dressed. All of them consist of the same subset, husband, wife, son, daughter. Though their choice of meals vary slightly, they all share a relentless, almost promise happiness. Apollo. Small town America, am I right, guys? Apollo jokes don't make things any better. I feel claustrophobic, trapped. Some screaming animal deep within me knows that its surroundings on every side, but something it doesn't understand. I don't know if I'm imagining it, but as we continue down this road, everyone outside seems to be laughing a little harder and celebrating a little more. We successfully climbed more than halfway down the street, a sharp left turn coming up at the end. Representing the road out of Joplin, another secret comes up on the right. Acer Road. While we pass by it, I take the opportunity to glance down the Stew Avenue, curious as whether every street is like ours. I don't like what I see. The houses are similarly prestigious, the walls pristine white, but like a spot of different pieces of the puzzle. It's the stubble changes that make the picture. There are no tables and no families on the wide green lawns. Almost every window I can see is broken. Cars lie abandoned in the road, smashed into a splintered porch. Above every door, an X has been drawn in red paint, and outside of each house, a small mound of clothes lay on a brush-cut lawn. A huge collective pile of men's, women's, and children's shoes tower at the end of the street, seemingly ownerless. Rob. Great going, everybody. Let's get back out of here now. We're reaching the end of the street. I breathe a sigh of relief as I bid farewell to Chaplin. I victoriously see it out of my own wing mirror as we turn the corner. I immediately wish I hadn't, when in a split second before it disappears from my view, I glimpse the 800-plus residents of Sycamore Row. They aren't smiling anymore, and they're all looking our way. I welcome the forest as the trees rise up around us once more. The indifference of the nature is a welcome change to the saccharine fox civilization of Joplin. Apollo. Towns like that make me glad I'm a city boy. Bonnie. Thought it was nice. Wasn't it like wintry May? Clyde. I don't think I've been. Bonnie. Oh, well, maybe it was Shelburne Falls. Oh, it was a little like Shelburne Falls. Rob. Guys, we gotta keep this channel clear. We hurry along in the next road and turn right. The farther we get from the eerie town of Dublin, the higher our spirits seem to be. Yes. How long until we stop? Rob. About another 4 hours. Nothing big in between us and there, though. Shouldn't be a problem. Yes. Good to hear. So what does breakfast translate to in Japanese? Rob. You heard that? Yes. Yeah, I've been curious all day. Does it have something to do with... I jump forwards, sharp pain in my neck, as my hand recoils back against my seat. Robin stamped his foot onto the brake, brings us to an immediate and shocking halt before I can ask why my question is answered, as one of the colossal pine trees slams into the road ahead of us, blocking our route forward. Rob. God damn it, you all right? Yes. I'm fine. Massaging my neck, I look forwards at the base of the fallen tree. The low end is covered in straight, sharp cut marks. Someone has brought this tree down, timing its fall in an attempt to cripple the regular. Yes. Rob? What's going on? Rob. Ferryman to all cars. Full reverse. Watch out for people behind you. The convoy pulls away, back down the road towards Joplin. Rob waits for Apollo to start moving, then backs up himself. There is a second jolt as Rob abruptly stops the car, surveying our beads of egress. Rob. Ferryman to all cars. Road's done for, but there's a gap at the end. Be careful. Rob's right. Though the tree's fallen across the tarmac, the only thin tree top lies over a grassy bank between the road and the forest. There's a bit of a valley in between the edge of the road and the grass, and Rob waits no time, showing the others how to navigate it. Twisting the wheel, Rob dry steers toward the gap and proceeds cautiously towards the roadside. I watch the asphalt disappear beneath us moments before the telltale bump. The regular drops down to the small bankside and turns around the fallen tree. I watch the needles cover the tip brush against my window as we roll past. With a second bump, Rob brings us back onto the road and pulls us over to the far edge, turning the Jeep to face towards the convoy. Rob. Okay, Apollo, make your way. Apollo. On it, Rob. As Apollo swerves towards the gap, I hear something. The sound of a running engine. At first, it's so quiet that it's almost impossible to isolate from the convoy's own rumbling. It's since grown louder, however, and it's growing steadily more noticeable. Yes. Rob, someone's coming. Rob. Apollo, get yourself over here right now. All cars. You're on double tap. Get moving. Apollo accelerates towards the gap. His Range Rover shudders, banking on the grassy decline. But it's hardly any effort to pull him out of around the tree and back onto the road. The noise in the distance grows louder. I can picture the vehicles carrying towards the corner, just one turn away from having its windshield locked on by the convoy. Though I have no idea what it might be, I don't want to share road space with anything coming out of Joplin. The rest of the convoy can hear the noise now. Bonnie and Clyde roll over to the gap and tentatively push themselves down to the side. It's clearly harder than Rob and Apollo to make it to look. After a few moments, they travel across the bank, bringing themselves out of the other side. The vehicle turns the corner. A white truck skids into view, its tires shrinking against the road. A metal beam sticks up behind the driver's compartment, and Hook swings at the moment of the hard right turn. It's a tow truck, though something tells me it's not here to lend assistance. Rob, all cars, which are on the other side, drive. Wait around the left turn. A radio if they get by me. Apollo, what about you guys? Rob, I'll come once everyone's across. Now I ain't the time for questions. Even life, get over here now. We still have time to get everyone across, but every passing second feels like a precious fleeting loss. Even life are impatient for their turn, dropping onto the roadside and coming back in a matter of seconds. The truck is gaining with incredible speed, and is just about to make out the words "Jump recovery" scrawled across the hood. Though the letters are rapidly becoming easier to read, Blue Jay takes her time dismounting the road. In fact, she's almost casual in how she maneuvers. Whilst waiting at the remaining seconds we have, a swell of anger wells inside me as her wheel hits the road again. If she's calm about the situation, then good for her. But I can't see Ace drumming his fingers frequency against the steering wheel, now stranded alone around the other side. I watch Blue Jay follow the rest of the convoy to the next turn. I display none of the urgency as anyone else has shown. Rob, take it easy, Ace. You ain't built for this. Ace takes the corner, heading Rob's plea for caution, but unwisely taking it almost head on. His front wheel thuds over the edge of the bank, and the castle hits the tarmac. The drop is just a little too steep for the Porsche's clearance. Rob's warning ring in my ears as Ace accelerates on 3 wheels, his car engaging in a slow turn with a little forward motion. Ace, Rob, what do I do? Rob! The pickup truck remains its speed and aligns itself with Ace's Porsche, its thunderous velocity defying all logic, all concerned for Ace's or their own safety. Rob, get out of the car, Ace! Get out of the goddamn car! Ace struggles with his seatbelt, stress overpowering his motor functions. He unclasps and throws the belt to the side. He grabs the door and pushes it, swings open slightly, then immediately slams against the bark of the pine tree. For a moment it lasts all too long. He shares a look with me of pleading terror. The door is slammed shut, crumbling as the tow truck collides with the passenger side of Ace's car. Ace is launched against the door, his head smashing against the window, and a godly racket of shrieks and metal suddenly gives way to silence. Rob, shit. Rob climbs into the back of the car. Ace, Rob, what can I do? Rob, stay here. I hear Rob rummaging around the luggage as the tow truck reverses out of Ace's porch. The hood of the tow truck is completely and impossibly unharmed by the impact, as are its 2 occupants. They park the truck side on us, the hook hanging a few meters away from the back of the Porsche. The words "Jump recovery" appear again, now accompanied by a slogan, "Here to help." 2 men in white shirts and blue overalls climb out and wander over to the wooden Porsche. They barely seem to register the situation at all, casually chatting together as they throw open Ace's passenger side door. The stunned Ace looks like he's about to get a concussion, only barely caught it. As he's pulled out of the car, he quickly grows more aware of the mechanics grabbing him by each arm, shrugging against them as he pulls his captators to talk amongst themselves. Rob, let him go! When I turn around, Rob is stepping out of the regular, apparently hidden within those few sacks of luggage. I was loading hunting rifle. Rob raises the stock to his shoulders and repeats himself. Rob, let him go! The mechanics pay no attention to Rob. They continue to frog march Ace over to the truck, one of them making a quiet joke to the other as they go. They laugh. An awful banging erupts beside me, and a deep red hole bursts from one of the mechanics' sources, blood slowly steeping down the wound. Inexplicably, the mechanics does nothing more than look down at his wound, up at Rob, and then back to the matter at hand. He hardly breaks stride as he continues to walk towards the truck, bleeding freely onto the floor. I hear Rob set about reloading the rifle. Mechanics arrive back at the truck with Ace. There's a short there are two short loops of thin chains hanging from the lowest hook on the chain links. The mechanics feed Ace's arm through one loop each. He's hanging by the armpits in front of the hook itself. Rob fires another shot that goes nowhere. The mechanics grab a handful of Ace's hair, chatting as they do so, and lift Ace's head up until his lower jaw is just above the hook. In that moment, despite everything, despite all of my journalistic ideals, the pursuit of truth and my identity, and as an observer, I close my eyes. The visual disappears into darkness, but the sound doesn't. The impact and the sorrowful obstructive groan that follows penetrates my bones, reverberating throughout my very being. Another gunshot and the very sharp twang of a metal ricochet. Ace's cries continue as the engine starts up and carries him off back to Joplin. I hear another gunshot that sounds like it hits nothing but blunt air. As the engine and Ace whimpers grow quieter, few moments pass before one final measured gunshot echoes around the car. Rob. God damn it! God fucking damn it! The regular chat 6 clangs as Rob kicks aside with all his considerable might. I open my eyes to see a fallen pine tree, a rude Porsche, and an otherwise empty road. When Rob climbs into the car, it's clear he's trying to regulate his breathing, an internalized rage lighting him up, barely under his control. Rob, we have to go. Rob turns us around, pointing the regular back towards the road. The quiet of the car echoes in my ears, along with other noises I can't hope to forget. I watch the fallen I grow smaller in the rearview mirror, overwhelming by a feeling that I'm leaving more behind on this road than I can currently imagine. Bereft of conversation, of logic, of any semblance of comfort, Rob and I do the only thing we can. We take the next left. Okay, guys, so this is the end of part 3 of Has Anyone Heard of the Left Right game? I hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry that I'm so stuffed up and sound so sick. You probably hate hearing my voice, but I really want to get this video out. And so, yeah, bye!